Hello everyone, this is Andre, and today I'm going to be showing you just a quick tutorial on getting EntityFrameworkCore set up with Postgres. So, just an overview of the tools we're going to need: pgAdmin, free; Postgres.app, also free; and Visual Studio Community for what I'm using Mac here, which is free. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up Postgres, this little blue elephant right here. Okay, so when you open this up, you'll see initialize here, and so you just want to go ahead and initialize to get your data directory up and running, and then it will just generate these three databases for you. So one of your user, then the Postgres and template databases. So we're going to go ahead and double click on this user database. So this opens up the terminal window for you to actually run SQL commands. So for this tutorial, we're just going to create a database really quick and call it to do. And for those of you who don't know, the quotations are required to keep case sensitive things. So if I wasn't to put this in quotes, it would automatically lowercase everything. And I like to camel case everything or Pascal case. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with that. Okay, so it says create database. That means it went through. You can do this \L to list out all your databases and their associated owners. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and open up pgAdmin right here. So this is a cool little web interface tool that allows you to view all of your Postgres servers. And I like it because it kind of reminds me of SQL Server Management Studio just a little bit. It has more administrative tools, which is kind of something that I like. So if you expand servers, this is just what it calls it by default, PostgreSQL 10. You can rename that to anything you want really, but we're going to expand that, and then we're going to expand databases, and look right here, we have to do exactly what we want, so we'll expand that. And what we're going to run, we're going to expand schemas, and we're going to create a script. We're going to run a script really quick. Okay, so this is going to be our table that we're going to do right here. Go ahead and get rid of all that. So let's go ahead and write out create table, and we'll call this also to do. Okay. All right, so for my table, I will have an ID. And so the same concept applies when you create tables and columns. If you want to keep the case sensitivity, then you need to put it in quotations. So do that. UUID primary key. So that'll be our primary key. I like to use GUIDs or UUIDs for my tables just because they are unique across all tables, and I like that. So that's what we're going to use. All right, we'll go ahead and give this a date. I'll create it on date, and we'll do timestamp 0. We'll do a title. Oh, really quick. Probably make this not null. Let's do varchar. I think 50 is probably enough, and we'll make them put in the title, so not null. Okay, we'll have a body. This will also be varchar. 1000's probably good. That can be null. We'll just explicitly state that. And then one more we'll do is completed. And this will be a Boolean. Probably could guess that just by the name. And not null as well. Okay. So there's our table. Let's go ahead and run this query. Boom. So it ran successfully. Look under our public schema and tables, and boom, to do. There are all our columns. Great. So that worked. So now we're going to hop into Visual Studio, Whenever it opens, there it goes. Okay, new project. Let's do ASP.NET Core Web App MVC and leave that as it is. So we'll call this to do, no, not like that, app. And I like to put this in my dev folder, local projects. Okay, I'm not going to use any version control, it's up to you. So create. Okay, that's scaffold up. Okay, that's all scaffold. So there we go. All right, so next we're going to create a second project. This is going to be the project to hold all of our data models and EntityFrameworkCore stuff. So if we go up to the solution, we can go add new project here. And a class library project should be good. Next, next. And then we'll call this to do app data. And that looks all right, so create. Okay, awesome. So now we're going to install EntityFrameworkCore, and that's a NuGet package. So I have it over here, that right there. So you just right click your project and you do add NuGet package, and it'll paste that right in there. First thing that pops up right there. So you don't need the one below it, just that one. And then you just do add package. Let that restore that package for you, get that all loaded in. Oh, you have to accept this. This is just saying, oh, this is what you're going to be downloading. Okay, that's in. So go ahead and create a new folder here in this project, the data project, and call it models. This class we can delete. Yep, delete. Okay, and we'll add a new file. Empty class, yep, to do app context is what we'll call it. Okay, so this is going to inherit from EntityFramework's DB context class. Maybe. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. So we can remove this redundant constructor and we can add, actually, we'll leave that there because we need that. And we'll do DB context options. It's right down here. And then we'll throw in, oh, yeah, our DB context here. And then call this options, which inherits the base constructor options. Boom. Okay. So that's good right there. So next we're going to go ahead and jump into the startup file. So this has all of your initial application configuration and middleware and dependency. You can inject dependencies here. So I like to get my context up and running with dependency injection that's built in. So services.add DB context. And then we'll do to do app context. So now it's not going to recognize it. Oh, well, I have to add a reference. So I'm going to go up to here and oh, sorry, let's do it here. References. Okay, check. To do app data. Yeah, okay. Okay, now the to do app recognizes the to do app data project. Now we can use IntelliSense to import our using statement. And then we can throw an expression in here. Never likes that first one. Okay, use pgSQL. EntityFramework Core. I think I got that right. There it is. Okay, so now this expects a connection string. So what you can do is you can do configuration .get connection string. So this just grabs a connection string out of your app.json file, which we'll add in just a second. And I usually just call my default connection. You can call it whatever you want, really. And I like to make this look a little bit nicer. Okay, there's that. So now, like I was saying, app.json file, we have to put in connection strings here. Okay, so I named mine, comma here, default connection, as I was saying. And it's just a string. So this expects server name, which is localhost. Then I like to put the port in here. 5432 is the default for Postgres. It's usually what it puts in, but you can change that port number to whatever you want in Postgres itself. Then it's going to want to know the database that you're using. Ours is to do. And then username. And that's just my user. Oh, forgot some semicolon there. Okay. So the reason why it doesn't require a password is because by default, there is no password. So if you wanted to set up a password, you could, but then you just have to put it into your connection string. But for this example, I will not be doing that. So I think that looks good. Yep. Okay. So now we're going to create a model. Call this to do. All right. So I don't like the property generator in the Visual Studio on Mac because I don't know, just look, I just don't like it. I don't like that layout. So I will be putting them in myself. So we got our ID. Oh. Got our created on. Let's do our string title, string body, and our boolean is completed. And for good measure, I don't like anybody to touch these outside of the class. So we'll set some default values for these things here. I don't recommend doing this method here because these aren't sequential, so read times will be pretty slow. I would usually have some sequential GUID strategy of some sort to do that, but for the sake of this video, we will not be doing that. Okay, so that looks good. Yep, okay. All right, next we're going to create a model configuration. The model configuration just allows you to use the Entity Framework Fluent API to map properties from your POCO object to the database columns. So in models, we'll do a new folder, model configurations. And we'll add a new file, and we'll call it to-do configuration. Okay, and this implements the entity type configuration interface from Entity Framework. There it goes. And then you just throw your model in there, and then you'll need to implement the interface. Boom. Okay, this is redundant. You don't need that. Okay. Don't need that. So this is where you do the mapping. So go ahead and do builder dot. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Yep. Has key. So it just has this prop expression name in here. And we'll do ID as our key. And then we'll go down property, created on, and then we're going to want to do the type of this. It's column type of timestamp, 0 precision, because I don't care about all the other stuff. And it's required, so make sure that it knows. Okay. Builder.prop, ready. It's the next on the list. Looks like it's putting in alphabetical order. I guess it doesn't really matter, but we put it in, yeah, let's just do body, it's fine. Okay, so this has a max length of 1,000 characters. Property. Okay, this has a max length of 50, and it is required. So you don't have to put the type on the string properties. Obviously, when you use the max length, it's kind of just inferred that it's a string just by looking at it. So, or varchar, I guess, type. Okay, and then we just need our it's completed, I think. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. As is required, so. Okay, there's our mapping. So now we need to hop back over to our context file to set up a few more things. Okay, so we need to do protected override void on model creating. And this has the model builder type. Let's call that builder. Okay, so this is where you new up your model configuration that we just barely made. So you just builder.apply configuration, new to-do configuration. IntelliSense is like a little slow for my typing. I'm gonna try and get it going. It's a little slow. Okay, well, that's that. I don't know what its issue is with that parameter name different. Okay. It likes that better. It'd still work, but it just likes that better. So call the constructor on that. All right, and I like to use these expression bodies, so just put that in there. Okay, so really quick, we're gonna hop back up to our controllers folder, and we're gonna add a new one really quick. There it is. All right, we'll call this to-do controller. Okay, so this is going to be not used as an actual traditional MVC type class. It's just going to be, we're going to add some endpoints. So we're actually going to do this route API / controller. Okay, so this is not going to return a view. It's just going to return okay. And we're going to remove that. Successfully created to-do item. All right, so that's just going to return a 200 OK status with this message. We're going to use Postman in a minute to make our requests to our application. So really quick, I'm just going to add HTTP post here. I don't even need that, it's redundant. Okay. So we're going to have one to add to do, and we'll also have one to get it to do, just so you can see that it works. So public action result. Now we're going to rename this actually. Create to do. Get to do. Okay, add the HTTP get up here. All right, and this is expecting a return. I'll just throw an empty string in there for right now. Okay, so start with the add first. So let var to do equals new to do. Okay. Okay, so that, I don't know, well, we don't need to call the constructor there. It's saying we don't, but I think you do. Maybe it just automatically calls the, yeah. Anyway, let's give this a title. Do laundry. Okay, and give it a body. Oops. Your laundry is looking a little sad. Okay. Oh, we should probably inject in our database context. That might help. So generated a constructor right there, and do a read-only property of to-do app context. There it is. call that context. I like mine capitalized. And we inject that into the constructor here. Oh, the constructor. Okay. All right. Context equals context. So assign that there. The expression body. Okay. All right, now we can add this to our database. Context.add to do. And then we'll need to save that change. So context.save changes. Oh. All right. Oh, for this one, we're actually going to need to, I guess we can get a list. Get a list or get a specific one. I guess it doesn't really matter. We can get a list. So there's that one. Let's do this one really quick. Our to-dos equals context dot do. Oh. I don't know where to do is in here. I don't see it. Oh, you know what I missed? I missed adding a DB set. My bad. Okay, let's do that really quick. So, public DB set to do. I guess you can call it to-dos, that's fine. Sometimes I like to do singular, sometimes I like to do plural, I don't know. I'll just do singular, that's fine. I've seen it done before. All right, I'll back over to our controller. So context.todo.toList. Okay, now we'll return this list of to-dos. Okay. That is it. Let's test this thing and see if it works. Hopefully it does. Let's run the application. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. Build succeeded. That's a good sign. Okay. Looks like that went fine. So I'm going to open up Postman. All right, Postman, here we are. So, to do, right? Let's put some breakpoints in here. One right, not right there, but right there, one right there. Okay. Whoops. All right, let's test the post. 404 not found. It's kind of interesting. Let me think. Where did I mess this up? I don't think I did. I don't know if that matters. Okay, let's just do a new one. do a get. What is wrong here? .404 not found, huh? Oh, okay. I don't know what happened with the naming of this controller here. I must have messed that up. Let's see if that fixed it. Yeah, that's kind of a big one. Oh, we might have to stop and start it again after I replace that. Okay. Must have just mistyped that just a little bit. Doesn't really happen that often. Of course, in this video. Okay, let's try that again. Oh, preview. Oh, I misnamed something else. Hopefully not on the database end. Nope, property end. Let's try that again. It's like, what is this property? I don't know. Oh, and that would be broken too. Yep, good thing that just jumped me right over there. Okay, let's try that again. Third time's the charm. We'll see. Okay. Didn't hit my breakpoints, but it said it worked. Let's do it again, just for good measure. There it goes. So create a to-do, add the to-do, save the changes. Okay. Let's go look at the database and see what we've got. Let's delete the script. Select from to-do. Run that. And boom. There we go. Find looking to-dos right here. That looks like it worked just fine. Let's try the other endpoint where we get them. So let's change this to get. It's gonna run through. Oop. That looks like it worked fine. Hit continue. And boom. There we go. There are the to-dos. It's a big, funny looking return there. But yeah, so that concludes this tutorial on getting started with EntityFrameworkCore and PostgreSQL. So if you guys have any questions about anything that was reviewed in the video, just go ahead and leave me a comment. And like I said, I'll leave those links in the videos or in the video description. But thanks for watching, guys.